Hello again, viewers, and greetings, fellow space travelers. This is Thorn of Night, and welcome to episode 11 of my new tree breeding guide for Minecraft for Forestry and Extra Trees. In this episode, we're going to continue with the lemon branch of trees, and all these guys are going to give you some sort of fruit or another. And the wood that you're going to get from these trees in this episode, there are going to be two types: the citron or citrus wood, and then the plum wood. It is fairly monotonous. There's a couple of trees that look different from all the rest, but pretty much all the way across the board, it's going to be the same style tree over and over and over and over and over and over, and even the same height and shape of the trees after a while. So either I'm going to split this into two episodes covering the plum, these purple ones, or I'm going to do the plum and all the rest of the citrus ones all in one go. We'll find out here. But before I get going on, I would like to say that this map is available for download, so you can take a look at what all I've done in here, so you can see how everything's laid out and get a more hands-on grasp on what's going on with the different types of trees and the different variances and all that. And also, at the tail end, way off to the west over there, I have what's called the Tree of Trees, so you can walk through and see exactly what trees lead to what trees, and how to go about doing your breeding, what order to do them in. But I will be making the download for this map available through a link in the description below, so go check that out if you want. I am using the Unleashed 1.1.7 version this time. There were a few changes that were made even since I started making this map from the previous version, so I have it up to date, and I'm going to upload this map after I am done doing all my recording, just to make sure everything is correct and up to date as much as possible. But let's go ahead and get going, starting with the lemon tree. It will require silver lime and hill cherry to make this thing, and you can see that you've got this sort of greenish, lime green, almost yellow color tree, and that's called the citrus wood. And from the lemon tree, you can expect to get pretty much identical trees all the way down. No variances in this species at all, and all the trees bear some sort of fruit, which you can bone meal to make it mature more rapidly on the leaves, or you can just let it go. It'll grow up all by itself. But this tree will give you 4 logs per tree, and on average about 1.5 saplings. This orange block here, this orange block of wool, represents the fact that you're probably going to have to babysit. No rain for you. You're probably going to have to babysit the automatic farm if you want to have one set up at first, to make sure that you've got saplings coming out. But once it gets going, you're going to have a positive yield. You're just going to have to watch it at first. But you will get these lemons out of this, as well as the logs and some saplings, and you can expect it to grow up to a height of 6, counting that top thing. It will need a little bit of space to grow, at least 1, definitely 1, maybe 2 if you want to have the full tree, but that's not really necessary. You can have 2 different saplings 2 spaces apart, and it will still grow as long as the main block of leaves has room. But this is a tier 4 tree, which means that it requires a tier 3 tree, namely the hill cherry there, in order to grow. And that is the lemon. So now let's move on to the plum sub-branch of this line here. It requires lemon and hill cherry to make, and you can see the plum logs there, and that's what they look like to the cross section, as well as the planks. And all of these plum trees are identical to each other as well, and they're identical in shape and size to the lemon. So you're going to expect 4 logs out of it. It has a slightly higher sapling yield. You're going to probably be able to expect one sapling per, definitely one, if not then two. But you will get these plums out of this, and just as before, you can mature them. And this is a tier 5 tree. Now, on to the rest. All the rest of these trees grow to a height of 5 and have this width total all the way across of 5. But the outermost leaf cluster, this row here, isn't necessary, so you can cram it one block closer, but to have the full leaves, you're going to want to have a gap of 2. But as it stands like this on its own, you're going to be getting, for all these trees, about 3 saplings per, and definitely 3 logs per. And this will give you some blackthorn, because this is a blackthorn tree. You will need plum and orchard apple to grow this, and it is a tier 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a tier 6 tree. And this red bar of wool, I'm doing this all out of order, I apologize for any confusion. This red bar of wool here represents that this does not get used in crafting any or crossbreeding any new species. It's the end of its little part of the branch. But that is the blackthorn tree. And let's move on to the next one. We have got the cherry plum, which requires plum and the hill cherry. And once again, 3 logs, between 2 and 3 saplings, thereabouts. And you'll get the cherry plums out of this. Same as before, height of 4. You're probably going to want to have a 5 by 5 by, or not height of 4, height of 5. So a 5 by 5 by 5 area in order to grow it. But this is a tier 6 tree, just like that one, and it's the end of the line. Moving on to the almond tree, which requires plum and common walnut to grow. You will get 3 logs and right around 3 saplings per, and as you can see, there are nodules on there. They're hard to see at first if you don't keep a close look on them. Like this doesn't look like it's got anything on it, but you can bone meal it, and there you go, it stands out. But you're going to get almonds out of this. They're nuts, not fruit. But just as before, identical 5 by 5 by 5 for that, and it's the end of its line, and it is also a tier 6 tree. Moving on to the next one, we have got peach, which uses the plum and the sweet chestnut from a separate episode, and you can see that there are nodules on this. And you guessed it, you'll be getting peaches, as well as that plum wood. And there are 3 logs per tree, identical, identical, identical. At least 3 saplings thereabouts per tree. I got 3.7 out of the sample for this. It might be slightly higher for that specific species. Maybe I just got lucky. Who knows? But it is a tier 6 tree. It's not the end of its line because it goes on to make this tier 7 tree, which is the apricot. Apricot uses the peach and the plum together, and you will get, once again, some nodules. This time apricots, and once again 3 logs and about 3.5 saplings thereabouts for the tree, if you have the full leafage on it. And let's move on because I have apparently some unloaded chunks there. I'm going to do that as a separate episode, so let's go to the last one of this episode, the nectarine, which uses the plum and the peach. And it is the end of its line. You can expect to get these nodules on there. They will grow, and you will get nectarines out of this, and it's getting dark. You can expect 3 logs and about 3, maybe more saplings out of each tree. So all these are, or almost all these are positive return for that. But the nectarine is the end of this branch, and everything looks like it's in place. The nectarine is a tier 2, 4, 6, a tier 7. Good, got that right. Is that right? Tier 7. Is that lined up? Yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm just confused. Never mind me. But that is the end of this branch, the Plum branch of the tree breeding guide. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was useful and informative, and you figured out what you came here to figure out. If I confused you any, I do apologize. But if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'll do my best to get back to you as quick as possible. If you like this video and you like what I'm doing here, please feel free to give a like. I do appreciate that. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you know when my future content comes out. But I'm going to wrap up here and get rid of this unloaded chunk. And I will say thank you once again for watching. This is Thorn of Night, and I will talk to you later.